obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Lie. No man is obsolete.
It's a cookbook.
Who are we?
When will they take the bandages off?
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
This lemon sucker here. He's the most suspicious of the bunch.
My name is Tommy Tina, and I'm beginning to hate you.
I believe you're going my way.
Live from Willoughby at the heart of the Twilight Zone. Here are your hosts, Alex and Tyler, the prestigiously perfect podcast in which we call The Twilight Gnome.
What is up, Gnomies? I'm Alex.
And I'm Tyler.
Welcome to the Twilight Gnome Podcast, episode 81. What episode are we going to be discussing this week, Ty?
This week we are discussing In His Image.
Season 4, Episode 1. The original air date was January 3rd, 1963. And it's kind of weird because usually seasons start in like October, but we'll get into that in Inside the Twilight Zone of how this whole season came to be. This was, actually I wanted to play a little game with you. Can you get, was this written by Rod or not?
No, I don't think so.
It was not. It was written by Charles Beaumont. I hate that. Obviously, I love Rod. Rod's an amazing writer. He's done a lot more stuff than I will, but a lot of the Charles Beaumont episodes are a little bit better.
This one is a really good episode. I enjoyed a lot, not just because the writing is amazing too, but I love the actor that plays in this that's also in The Chaser. I think he's a really great actor.
This was directed by Perry Lafferty, who did 3 Twilight Zones, and it's kind of cool the ones that he did. You ready for them?
Yep.
Notice it. See if you can come up with a theme, I guess.
Okay.
He did In His Image, The 30 Fathom Grave, and Valley of the Shadow.
He did the first 3 seasons, 4 episodes.
He did. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Obviously, with it being the first hour-long, blah, blah, blah. We'll get into more of that, but they probably wanted someone to, like...
That had, like, a more grasp on, like, longer form.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll jump right into it, Ty. What was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment, I have a main favorite moment, and then I have a
I actually have
funny.
3.
I have 2, but one's more favorite than the other. So my main favorite moment is at the very end when he walks into Jessica's apartment, and you don't know at that moment who it is. Is it Alan? Is it Walter? Or is it a third creation that Walter created after their fight? I love the kind of suspension of like, oh, could be any of the 3. I really liked that. My second was more comedic. The very beginning where the old lady gets thrown in front of the train.
All right, yeah, I have 3 favorite moments from this one. One is the fight scene at the end, even because it's almost silent. It's almost like they took the audio out of them.
Did you notice the very...
It's obviously stuntman.
Yeah, obviously it's a stuntman because he doesn't have a twin in real life, which is really noticeable. It works well when it's still shots and like the two are talking to each other because that was easy enough technology back then. But
there was still even a couple good shots when they're like showing profile to each other.
When they were fighting?
No, when they were just talking.
Oh, well, yeah, because that's actually not a double. That's him.
You'd think they could have done something, or at least done like back 2, but yeah, a couple times you're like,
yeah,
you're just fighting a stuntman.
Yep, exactly.
Which, again, I think that's funny and stuff. What were we just doing in an episode where I called out the stuntman looking nothing like, I think it was Person or Persons Unknown, he fell down the stairs or some shit?
Oh, it was no. It was Nightmare as a Child where the guy falls down the stairs and you're like, that guy looks different. That one
different.
was a lot less noticeable than this episode. I thought the whole fight scene was very like, yep, that's clearly not him.
My second favorite was the handheld shot. We don't get it very much in the Twilight Zone. It's when he's in the woods and he's like, get away from me quick, I'm turning into a monster. And then we get that handheld shot of him, like from his perspective, running down the
I didn't
corridor.
even notice that there was a
cool.
handheld one.
I'll show you when it's an awesome shot. And then my third favorite, the little joke in the beginning when he's like, Walter. She's like, who's Walter? Oh, he's my brother. We keep him chained in the basement.
Which is a really clever way of both making a joke and also foreshadowing because he literally has 2 other quote-unquote brothers that are like
chained in a basement?
Yeah, they're chained in a basement. So I liked that.
I didn't even think about that, but that's
no, yeah, it's a little foreshadowing joke of he literally has 2 brothers.
We have the technology to rebuild him.
Doctor, what have you created?
I am, for all intent and purposes, AI Surly.
Also, every week I put a prompt into ChatGPT, come up with a Rod Serling style intro to the episode we are watching, and this week it came up with this. Portrait of a man, Alan Talbot. Age 32. Occupation, recently engaged. Future husband, hopeful dreamer. He has a new lease on life, the kind written in bold print and signed with a diamond ring. But listen closely, because beneath the polite laughter and romantic promises beats something else, something not quite human. The metallic tick of gears where a heartbeat should be, a whisper of circuits instead of a conscience, and in Alan's case, a disturbing chorus of impulses urging him towards violence. Tonight, Alan Talbot will walk hand in hand with the woman he loves, unaware that his footsteps march steadily towards the truth no man was built to carry, a truth forged in steel, housed in flesh, and scheduled to be revealed in the Twilight Zone.
You didn't go meta with this one.
I did a lot of work doing that top 10 video, so I'm sorry if my notes will be a little slack this week.
Also, it said that his occupation was being engaged. That's not a job.
Hey, please note homemaker is not a job. That's why you don't get paid for it. That's a Simpsons joke.
Okay, I was going to say. Sounds like Simpsons.
All right, so every week Tyler and I come up with a few questions for each other, keep each other on our toes while watching said episode. I have 3 this week.
I have 5.
All right, go for it.
Well, you should go for it because you only have 3. I might step on your toes on some.
All right. At the beginning of the episode in the train station, what's the number of the platform they're on?
9 3/4.
Tis
No,
not.
it's I think it's 7 or 9.
Neither. It's 28.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck me then. What is the name of Alan's hotel?
Antiques, because it says antiques on the side next to it, but I don't know idea.
The Chesterton Hotel.
I didn't even see that. How long has Alan and Jess known each other?
4 days?
Correct.
And they're already engaged.
Right.
That's insane. What's Jess's apartment number?
7.
It is 7. Good job.
What's the number of Alan's supposed house?
That was going to be one of my questions. It's either 331 or 311. 331.
It is. Good job.
Okay.
I think like that's the same, obviously the same house, but I don't think they even changed the number from, I think the Parallel uses it and something else does too that we were watching.
I think Mute also has...
There's quite a few
similar-
that use that house.
Yeah. How much does Alan make a month?
500 or 600?
600 a month. Although technically he doesn't have a job at all, so 0 would also be a correct answer.
True. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
You got any more? Or the
Nope, that was it.
And I got 2 more. What is the car's license plate number?
Which car?
The one that they're driving in. I'm pretty sure Jess owns it because she drives home in it.
56A-125.
5F9837.
Dang it.
And
So
my last one for you. What year was Walter Ryder born? Walter Ryder Sr., the one that's in the grave.
1885.
1879.
Damn it. I was pretty close. All right, we'll jump right into this one. We open on a guy walking out of a hotel. At first, I thought it was night.
It is night. Well, it's early
well,
morning.
Not night. It's like 4:30 in the morning. It's almost morning time.
If it's dark. If it's dark out, it's still technically night, even if it's like 4 in the morning. Like, at what point does it stop?
In the summertime, it's like 4:30 in the morning. The sun comes up.
Yeah, but at what point does it stop being night, and when does it become morning? 3 a.m., 2 a.m.
I'd say 1 a.m.
So if I stay up till 2 a.m., I'm up all morning.
You stayed up till the morning.
I don't think 2 a.m. is really morning.
I'd say it is morning, especially
No.
like when I'm plowing.
No one wakes up at 2 a.m.
When I'm plowing all night and stuff, giggity. I would say if someone called me after like 1 o'clock or even midnight, I'd be like, it's morning.
Who
It's
wants
no
a
longer
Krabby
night.
Patty at 3 in the morning? Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's just at 3 in the morning. No one calls it 3 at night.
No, I think a lot of people say 3 at night.
No, they fucking don't. Everyone says 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning till 1 in the morning. I would say after midnight, it is morning.
That's a really weird way of looking at it, but
You have an odd way of looking at it.
All right.
Listeners,
Get into track.
who's right, Alex or Tyler? We all know who it is.
it's me. Yes, it is 5:24 in the morning because he looks at his watch.
He walks down into a subway, and an old lady starts preaching at him bad. I know it's gonna kind of feel like we're speed running through this because these hour-long episodes, there's just so much dialogue.
And there's a lot that happens in it too.
But yeah, the old lady comes up to him and starts preaching at him, starts reading Leviticus and stuff.
Do you read the good book? What book?
He hears all these weird sounds, like what would you got, like mechanical?
Yeah, I called it like electric whirling.
He hears a bunch of those sounds in his head, and he pushes her. He pushed her.
The first time he hears the electronic whirling, though, there's no vocals to go with it. But the second time, he hears like a little bit of
Stop! Don't!
Yeah, he's starting to hear like more memories are kind of flooding back to him.
But yeah, he pushes this old lady in front of the train, and then Rod brings us in.
What you have just witnessed could be the end of a particularly terrifying nightmare. It isn't. It's the beginning. Although Alan Talbot doesn't know it, he's about to enter a strange new world. Too incredible to be real, too real to be a dream. It's called The Twilight Zone.
Yeah, so before that moment, actually, another thing I wanted to mention, too, that's kind of important for later on, is that the old woman hands him a pamphlet, and he kind of pockets that, which kind of comes up.
It didn't really feel well deserved at the end. It's like, what?
I mean, I feel like there's supposed to be this like religious sort of allegory of like God creating man sort of symbolism in it, which is relevant in the pamphlet that she hands him, because the pamphlet.
But why would salvation make him go crazy? It should have been something else.
I don't know. Maybe it's about like at the end, Walter says like, "Oh, everyone wants to kill people," which is fucking way off base. But maybe it's about like through salvation you won't want to murder, like go on a murder spree.
But then he goes on the murder spree.
I don't know.
Killing in the name of salvation. Anyway, next we see a woman waiting in her apartment. We hear a knock on the door, and I did like this part too. His cool little like, "Oh, hey, Miss, I'm here with the Boy Scouts." He's a pretty charming dude, even though we just watched him fucking kill somebody a second ago. You kind of forget about it.
Yeah, he is funny. He makes this funny little comment, which we later find out is part of Walter's personality too, because Walter does the same thing later on.
We don't know it's him though.
We don't know his.
We actually probably would assume that it's
probably Alan.
Yeah.
But
anyway, yeah, we kind of get the hint that these guys have been going out for a little while, and we
find out it's actually only 4 days.
Yeah, and they're getting married, and the woman's name is Jess, and she's like, "You're the one who wanted to leave at 5:00 in the morning. And why are you late?" He's like, "I wasn't friggin' late." And he looks at his clock, and it's almost 6:00 now. So we got missing time.
Yeah, he's got the notion that he's been missing quite some time.
But she's like, "But you'll be happy about this." She has a chicken roasting. She must be like cooking a chicken at like 3 a.m.
I know.
At night.
Wake up super early to cook a fucking chicken.
And then Alan asks Jess, "You sure you want to marry me?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm a spinster. I have to. I'm almost 30, you know." And then she kind of goes on this whole like, "I love you for everything." Whatever, and he's just like, "All right." And well, she actually says, "And I'm also really lonely." So
no, I think they do a great job of like establishing that their relationship, yes, is pretty new. They've only known each other for 4 days, but it's very clear that like she's head over heels in love with him, and vice versa.
Quite the girlfriend, huh? She sticks through him through fucking.
She sticks to a lot.
Ride
like,
or die.
I would have been running the fuck out of there. But I mean, I guess that comes later on. But yes, so we find out that where they're heading to is to
Corville.
Corville, which is the town that Alan supposedly grew up in, and he's going to show Jess his old roots.
Next shot, Alan's sleeping in the car while Jess is driving, and he's saying, "Walter, Walter," and I'll play some of this because it's pretty dang funny.
Walter, no. No, it isn't right. Send me back.
Alan. 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 You were having a nightmare. Who's Walter?
Who's who?
You kept saying Walter.
Oh, well, this is a poor time to tell you, but he happens to be my brother. Oh. Yes, it's a tragic situation. We keep him locked in the cellar. I don't like to think about it.
Alan, you idiot.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That was a good joke, but more importantly, like I said earlier, more so than being a joke, it's a really great foreshadowing for the fact that he does have two, like, I guess you'd call them Model A and Model B versions of himself before we get to this version of Alan. And then another joke that he makes just after this in the car is he kind of is talking about how he's this like suave, debonair guy, and how back in his day they used to call him a Don Juan. They used to call him the human electrode, which yet again kind of Wink, wink, nod, nod. He's a robot.
A girl's best friend, if you catch my drift. Next shot, he's pointing out all kinds of stuff in town. Look at that building. Well, I don't remember that building. That wasn't here 7 days ago. And they kind of just plays it up in his mind, like trying to make up reasons. Well, everything's prefab today. I guess they could do that. They go to a little restaurant that he wanted to in the hotel, but the hotel apparently never had a restaurant.
And it's at this point, Jess should be wondering, what the hell's going on? Maybe he's just a forgetful guy.
Forget what fucking town you're in. She is very like, it is crazy because obviously they leave and she's like, okay. They leave the restaurant or hotel there. And then he's like, all right, I'm going home. We'll have a meal there. He knocks on the door. It's locked. A man comes out.
He starts pounding on that door, too. He's like, well, Aunt Mildred is really hard of hearing. We really need to tap on this door.
And obviously they get the whole, this is my house. No, it's my house type of thing goes on. The guy slams the door on Alan, and Alan hears the weird mechanical sound again. And we go to commercial break. When we get back from commercial break, he walks next door. His girlfriend's just like, what are you going to do? What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to call the cops. Knocks on his neighbor's door. There's a girl out there, and she's like, what do you want? He's like, where's, I forget her name. Do you have her name?
Nope, but she died 3 years ago.
Yeah, he can't believe I had lunch with her last week. What the hell is this shit? So
at this point, he starts freaking out.
As
Rightfully
anyone would.
so.
They hop in the car, and they head off. Alan's showing this, like, empty lot. That's right where my building is. I work on like the 10th floor. There's no building there. Which, if you're her, you'd be like, okay, I gotta leave now. This guy's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's one thing to be like, oh, I don't remember that building. Oh, I thought this building had a restaurant in them. And then
I
be
drove
like,
here for 10 years.
I worked here for 10 years. That house with that man that doesn't know me says it's not my house.
Right. And then in the next shot, he's coming out of a courthouse. Doesn't really say what he did, but like looking up records of
I'm assuming
himself
public
or Aunt
records.
Mildred. And she's like, well, what if what you said was right? What if 20 years has gone by?
And then he kind of makes a rationalization of like, well, that wouldn't be possible because if I had left here 20 years ago, I would have left when I was 10. Mm. And like, so not everything really lines up with that explanation, but she is being very like supportive and not like just, well, clearly you must be crazy, which good for her.
Next shot, pretty good idea. They go to the cemetery. He sees his dead neighbor that died 3 years ago. And then he says, over here, the Talbots have been buried here for over 50 years. But when we see it, it's the gravestones of a Walter and Mary Ryder, which pays off in the end. So obviously it's, spoiler alert, it is Walter's parents.
His creator's parents.
Not Alan's parents. Next shot, I liked this. A cop and some guy comes, and it's the guy from the house. Like, back in the old day, you think like this is the most petty thing, like, apologize to this man now.
Yeah, I thought this was really petty, like, oh, sorry, I accidentally knocked on your door thinking it was my house. You're going to call the cops, and the cops are going to follow me to a cemetery where you're going to confront me and be like, well, I just wanted to apologize. Yeah.
This man says you caused a disturbance at his house. You admit it?
Yes, I made a mistake.
Said you claimed it was your house.
Well, I thought it was. I'm sorry.
You satisfied?
Well, as long as he owns up to it. But you better not come pestering me again, young feller.
I won't.
Go on back to the car. I'll be along in a minute.
I'll be long in a minute? Giggity. All right, these guys are going to be sex fiends in the back. Alan tells the sheriff here, he's like, yeah, where's the old sheriff, Carl? He's like, hey, who's my godfather? And he's like, really? Well, he's over there.
He died.
Yep, in 1956. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I was thinking about using that as a trivia question.
Oh.
Then the cop goes to talk to Jess, and he's like, you should take this guy to a mental hospital. Next shot, they're driving down the road.
That's a bit ridiculous for the cop to say, because all the cop knows is that
this guy
he
thought this was his house.
Went to the wrong house. That is it. That's not enough to be locked up. Like, oops, I accidentally mistook which house was mine.
You should know where you live. That's really weird.
I mean, I don't know, if you just recently moved and you like accidentally go to the place you just were living at for 10 years, I can see that.
Then the guy would probably know you, though.
I don't know. It's not completely ridiculous to think that just one slip up of, oh, I forgot that I don't live here, would make it enough for the cop. Like, the cop hasn't seen everything that Jess has seen. At that case, yes, Jess should be saying he's fucking crazy.
I feel like you're getting defensive about it like it happened to you. Sometimes it happens. You walk into people's house.
I feel like it's not unreasonable to, like, accidentally go to the wrong house.
Next shot, it's nighttime, and they're driving home, and Jess is like, you should really go see this Dr. Matthews.
All the while, he's still getting that like electric whirling sound in his head, so he's kind of paying attention, but not really.
And he's like, pull over. She's like, you gonna be sick? Yeah, just pull over. And he runs into the woods and
grabs a rock.
I do like this because like the mixed emotions that she must be feeling, because he's like, Wendy, darling, come here, my love. And then he like fights it, obviously.
Yeah, it's like a different part of him that's trying to fight it. It reminded me a lot of the Thriller music video where Michael knows that he's going to turn into a werewolf and he just yells, "Get away!"
It made me start thinking of like, it could be like an "I think you should leave now" skit of like, if you wanted to get out of a bad date, just, go away! Save yourself!
Yeah, could definitely work like that.
We're not going to play this because this is the handheld shot I was talking about that's really cool.
Alan, let me help you.
No, I'll see you later at your apartment.
How are you gonna get back there?
Never mind, just go! Go now, Jess! Run!
Yeah, that shot kind of reminds me of like early slasher films like Friday the 13th. And
I like it a lot.
Halloween. Yeah,
it really stood out to me.
But yeah, she must be having a terrible fourth date with this
But it's also too like, she's scared. Run away. You don't want anything to do with me. I'll see you later tonight. Like it's like a guy that just wants to go bowling with his buddies, like faking sick, but I'll see you tonight.
Yeah, I mean, but he wouldn't be leaving himself in the middle of the woods though.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, he's gonna rendezvous like with his other girlfriend. Pick me up here.
Pick me up in the middle of the woods.
I'll fake sick here in this mile marker. Who the fuck knows?
But yeah, so he's gone full crazy. He's running after her car with the rock, and then he drops the rock because he's got a big old headache. And then a car comes driving by and
apparently hits him. Or
hits him like a little bit,
I don't
enough
think it
where
even hits him.
I don't think it. Well, it doesn't look like it hits him, but it's enough to scrape his arm.
Yeah, and the guy's just like, "Oh, gee, mister, I didn't even see it," but I don't think he hit him. Anyway, long story short, he gets a ride back to his hotel.
But before he even gets in the car, he looks at his arm, and that's when we get the big reveal.
How did I forget?
Yeah, there's some hardware in his arm. Well, he doesn't even draw that connection yet. He's just looking at it like, huh, wonder what this
wires
means.
In my arm. Yeah, that was a huge thing to gloss over. Yes, he has a weird metallic arm. But anyway, the guy brings him back to his hotel, and he's like, "You should go see a doctor, buddy." He's like, "Hey, listen, don't tell me what to do."
Tell me what to do.
He goes inside, and the phone rings, and wouldn't you know, it is Jess. She's like, "I've been calling every 15 minutes. Where are you?" And he's like, "Just forget about me, all right? We'll call it over." And she's like, "No, listen, I'm with you through thick and thin. I made an appointment tomorrow morning. I'll be there at 9:30 to pick you up." And he's like, "After all this, you'd do that for me?" She's like, "Yes." Again, like,
it's very sweet.
It would be nice to have some, but that's also like sad. I don't know how to feel about that one.
Yeah, I mean, she fell head over heels real quick. It's both really sweet, but also, like, come on, girl, you need to notice some of these red flags.
She's a spinster, Tyler.
Her ovaries are almost like dried up.
Almost like dried up.
Did you notice after he hangs up on the phone too, he holds a match to his hand?
Yeah,
was it to see if he can feel?
I guess so, and it seems like he couldn't, so it's like you just realizing you couldn't feel.
Yeah, like wouldn't he been touching other things like steering wheels?
Maybe he just never thought about it.
Yeah, oh, it's weird.
Then he grabs a phone book and he looks up this how he figured out his name. Well, I guess Walter.
No, because he went to the cemetery, saw Walter Ryder, looks up a Walter Ryder
Jr. Probably.
Yeah, just assuming that, okay, well, maybe Walter Ryder Jr. will know something about original Walter Ryder Sr.
He goes in the middle of the night, and he goes to this guy's house, and the door's kind of already ajar. Did you notice that?
I did not.
So he just lets himself in, as anyone would do. And then we get a cool shot of a guy from behind, giggity. His face is in the shadow the whole time. We don't really get to see who it is.
And then as Walter walks in, or as Alan walks in to the main sitting room, the man that's in shadows walks behind him and closes the door.
And it is Walter, which looks exactly like Alan. So either they're twins or what the heck's going on. Alan asks, "Are you real?" And Walter's like, "Sit down. There's nothing to be afraid of." Walter tells Alan, "You almost killed me the other day there with the scissors, you know."
Weirdly, he says, "Too bad you didn't." So it's like, is Walter suicidal?
Sounds like it. He's obviously just getting hammered in his house. Just wanted to create man.
I wanted to create my own suicide device through a robot.
And he's like, "How'd you find out where I was? Where'd you go to Corville or something?" And Alan's just like, "Yeah." Walter says to Alan, "Here, take this drink. You might need this. 8 days ago, you were born here in this house."
"Mister, you're crazy. I wasn't born 8 days ago." Yeah, so it's at this point that Alan asks Walter, well, who am I then? And then Walter says, you're no one.
Who is this watch I'm wearing? Ask me that. Who is the refrigerator in the kitchen? Don't you understand? No. You're a machine, Alan, a mechanical device. I don't believe it. I don't blame you. I wouldn't believe it either.
You're a machine. It's like something you'd also say to your buddy, like if you're partying.
Dude, you're a machine, man. Yeah, so it's at this point that Walter takes Alan downstairs to the laboratory where he shows him exactly where he was
The
created.
delivery room. I delivered you as well. Very hard. Yeah, they go down in the basement. He shows him a bunch of futuristic scientific computer shit.
We see the Forbidden Planet Pac-Mans in the background.
And we have the... apparently, like, he bakes them in ovens. Like, when he opens up, it looks like that would be, like, the incinerator for a body, but it's like, does he bake people in that? Is that how he creates them?
I'm guessing maybe he's, like, shooting a bunch of gamma rays or something to, like, start them up. I don't know.
The weird sound is happening again in Alan's head, so Walter turns it off, and he's like, let me show you your brothers. And just obviously, like, fake
Mannequins.
sex doll versions of Walter and
Alan.
And he's like, yeah, the first and second one, they weren't very good. Not as good as you. And then Alan's like, well, how the hell did you get all the money for this? He's like, I invented a calculator.
I really like that they at least took the time to explain the logistics of this realistically, because a lot of like weird sci-fi shit will happen in episodes and like people will just completely gloss over the realistic
really
aspects.
matter, though?
It matters to me. And I like that they took, because it only takes a minute to explain, oh, I got all my money because I'm smart.
I get $4,000 a week because I created a calculator.
Yeah, and then he further explains, well, did you do this yourself? No, of course not. That would also be stupid. I had a team of people helping me. Like, thank you. Thank you for like at least clarifying the logistics of this. I really appreciated that.
And he's like, but the other people, they didn't see the potential like I did. I wanted my creation to have memory of a past, a personality, to make true intelligence. So I came up with some backstory. I put a little bit of me in there. And he's like, I pretty much fleshed around with what I wish I was as a man.
Yeah, because I mean, basically what we're getting from Walter is that ever since he was a boy, he wanted to make a perfect android. And now that he's older, his version of a perfect android is a version of himself that is better because he sees a bunch of flaws in himself that he wants kind of perfected. So his perfect version lives forever, and his perfect version is a lot kinder and not a drunk and all these other things that he kind of wishes that he was in himself, but he kind of instills inside the robot.
Right. And he's like, but then you attacked me with scissors and you ran away. Alan says, what's wrong with me, Walter? He's like, I don't know, but whatever it is, it's wrong with me too. He's like, everyone has temptations of murder, but most people don't act on them. Alan asks if he can be treated. Walter says, repaired, you mean? A dick.
It is a dick move.
He's like, I don't know. It was a miracle I even made you in the first place. It was like shooting a machine gun at a tiny bullseye and maybe getting a 1 in a million chance.
You saying I'm an accident? I'm afraid so. You see, Alan, I was like a blind man with a machine gun. I kept firing and reloading and firing, and finally I hit the target, but it was off-center. I don't even know if I could come close again.
It's at this point that Alan says, well, there's a problem. There's a girl I've been seeing. I'm really in love with her. Like, we're supposed to get married next week. Walter says, I'm sorry. Even if I could fix you, your girl would eventually find out. You'd grow old and she wouldn't.
And then Alan kind of brings up a good point of like, well, if you kind of knew these flaws ahead of time, then why did you create me? Which is kind of
that's why
the whole Frankenstein and Dr. Frankenstein, like why
you could even get it more existential and be like, why did God create us? Or why are we here?
Yeah.
It makes you kind of think of that.
Yeah. But yet, after this, then Alan says, okay, here's what the plan is going to be. You're going to create a third person and a better version of me
and he's going to be happy.
And he's going to live this great life with Jess.
And here's her address and her phone number.
And we get the pamphlet again that finally pops back in.
And I guess it sets him off. If they had brought up that every time he looks at it, it brought him up. I don't know. It seemed weird.
I mean, it's kind of just inconsistent. I think it's just that he is a robot and he's a little buggy. I don't think it has anything to do with him specifically looking at that pamphlet.
He goes into kill mode, and they have a really cool fight scene. Even though you can see the stuntman, I still enjoyed it. And then the next shot, it's kind of like a crossfade. We don't get to see who won. We hear the doorbell ring. Jess gets out of bed.
And we get the same line about, I'm a member of the Woodchucks, ma'am. I'm here to sell some magazines.
So we believe it's Alan. What did you assume?
My first assumption was that it was going to be a third version where it was not Alan or Walter, but like the fixed version of Alan. But I much liked the actual ending so much more than I thought this was a really good ending. Yeah, it's at this point, so we as the audience still don't know who it is yet. Jess is still obviously concerned because to her,
very worried about you.
Yeah, nothing's been wrapped up for her yet, and he basically just says,
"Don't worry
forget
about
everything
it, baby.
that
It was
happened
just a
today."
nightmare.
And she's like, "Okay, I will."
Just promise me you'll tell me about it one day. One day, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that'd be one hell of a story, but years and years into your marriage. Oh, by the way, when you first met me, that was actually a robot for the first 4 days, and then I took his place.
Yeah. And then if we get a crossfade again to the laboratory, we see a body, and then we get a zoom in on the hand, so we know that it was Alan that lost the fight.
And that it was Walter that moved in on Alan's little life.
Obviously, I'm team human, but I'm also like, you just snuck in on that guy's girl, dude.
No, because Alan was him, essentially. Alan literally has, like, his own cells. It's just that Alan is the better version of himself that he wanted to be. And so, now
Walter has to live up to that.
Exactly.
And he's going to have to tell her that my name's actually Walter, not Alan.
He has to live up. I mean, he doesn't have any friends or anything in real life anyway, so he could probably just keep going by the pseudonym of Alan Talbot if he wants to. But yeah, now it's all about he needs to live up to that expectation that's set in because Alan set it up as he's this good guy, so now he has to become a better guy. So,
decent.
Yeah.
And then Rod brings us out.
In a way, it can be said that Walter Ryder succeeded in his life's ambition, even though the man he created was, after all, himself. There may be easier ways to self-improvement, but sometimes it happens that the shortest distance between 2 points is a crooked line through the Twilight Zone.
And that is our episode. Tyler, what'd you learn?
Don't try to convert people near moving subway trains.
That from the People Mover?
No, because the lady got thrown in front of a subway train.
Oh. This episode is so long, I forgot what happened in the first 2 minutes already.
I was like, how the hell did you forget that the episode started with a murder?
Anyway, we'll jump right into ratings. IMDb currently has this at a 7.4 out of 10. Do you think we're going to be on the same page?
I think we're probably going to be...
You want to try it?
If not, we'll be right in the ballpark of each other.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 7.5.
Yeah,
all right.
Pretty close.
All right, 7.5 for me. The hour, again, it's the only problem really, it's the hour long. It just does seem to drag a little bit. I feel like there's a lot that they could have cut out. Like, you didn't have to go to 10 places to be like, oh, God, they don't remember me either. That would not have happened in any other season, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like the hour long definitely gives this one the room to kind of breathe, though, and it kind of builds itself up. I mean,
but it's good acting too, and it is very good. It's definitely top tier for season 4.
I'm giving this one an 8. It's a really good mystery. All the mystery questions are eventually answered. Great acting, great characters, multiple great reveals and twists, and a really smart choice at the ending there where when he walks in, the audience doesn't quite know if it's Walter, if it's Alan, if it's a third robot. We do eventually get the answer, but I like that they kind of like let it out there and like kind of let you question for a moment who it was going to be. And overall, great message. I mean, we don't need to create artificial life to kind of make up for what we feel we're lacking. We have it within ourselves to kind of self-improve. But yeah, same thing with you. The only negative part would be that it's a bit long.
Giggity.
Who are they? Where are they? What are they? Let's find out together in the Twilight Gnome presents Inside the Twilight Zone.
All right, so this week we have George Grizzard. He played Alan. He was in 2 Twilight Zones, and now we have completed his resume. This is better than The Chaser.
I think The Chaser's just slightly above for me.
What did you give
them
The
both?
Chaser?
I gave them both an 8, but I'd say in terms of like obviously if you had to still rank within a score, I'd put Chaser slightly above this one.
All right. He was not really in anything super big, but he was in a lot of television from 1955 to the early 2000s. He was actually in 2 episodes of Third Rock from the Sun as well. Another kind of Twilight Zone connection because John Lithgow plays the main character in the Nightmare at 20,000 Feet part of the movie in the 1980s. Then we have Gail Kobe, she played Jessica. She was in 3 Twilight Zones. We have only not seen one. We haven't seen A World of Difference. The one, it's season 1 where the guy is like on a film crew. It's kind of like Person or Persons Unknown. He like...
What's the one that we have seen of her?
We have seen The Self-Improvement of Salvador Ross. He played Salvador Ross's girlfriend as well. She didn't do as much acting, but she did a bunch of producing. She was pretty much like the soap opera queen producer here. She did 197 episodes of Days of Our Lives, 297 Bold and the Beautiful, and 120 episodes of The Young and the Restless. So, and that was being a producer for that. Then we have Catherine Squire. She played the old woman at the beginning. She was in 357 episodes of Doctors, which is insane. And she was in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone, and we have completed her resume as well. Do you remember what else she is in?
Yes, I believe she was in the Paul Bear episode as the teacher.
Yes, she was. Good job. And if you can remember from that episode, she was also in 4 episodes of Mr. Peepers.
Sex fiend. Sex fiend. Sex fiend. Sex fiend. Hey, I'll get a towel. Sex fiend. Ellie's not that bad of a girl. Sex fiend.
Very fitting for this to have a sex fiend in it. Just where earlier on in the episode, Alan was saying that he was a, what is it called?
There was a lot of
Don
innuendo
Juan
in this episode. Yes. A little bit of trivia on this. This was the first episode of season 4. It was an hour long, which was usually all the other seasons were the half hour long, but because this one had to, it got canceled at the end of the 3rd season, and then it got brought back like midway through. That's why it has the January start date, and it did not fare very well. It's very good that they went back to the half hour format for season 5. If they'd ended on season 4, what do you think?
I think it would have tarnished the reputation a little bit, and we would have been missing out on such, like, there's a lot of classic ones that come from season 5. I know most people probably don't think of season 5 as their favorite.
Season 5 is hit or miss, very hit or miss.
But there are a lot of really good ones in season 5, so it would have been sad to miss them.
And also in season 4, it was the first season, and this was the first episode to have the intro that we all know and love with the door, the window, and the little mannequin thing flying by. The name of this episode comes from a Bible verse in Genesis, and lots of props from this were obviously from Forbidden Planet. In total, this episode cost $112,000. The cast received $12,405, and the director received $2,750, which is pretty expensive.
I was going to say
that's usually like what pilot directors will get.
Yeah, it sounds a lot more than previous ones.
Yeah, typically, it's the $1,250 for like the first 3 seasons, and then it went typically like $1,500 for season 4, and then they kind of stuck with the $1,500 for 5. But occasionally, you'll see above and beyond. I wish I'm gonna have to like go back somehow and listen to every single one and see what was the lowest and highest.
What'd you say to me, Mike?
What's in the name, Mr. Benedict? Really? It's a mere question of semantics. Just language. A mere stretch of words.
All right, so every week Tyler and I come up with a few alternative titles to the episode we are watching. And I hate using it as an excuse, but I did a lot of work doing that Scariest Top 10 video, so I only have 1 this week.
I have 5, so you go ahead and do your 1.
I have the duplicate debacle.
Ooh, that's what mine was. I also had the duplicate debacle. Good thing I let you go first. All right, my other 4. I have The Way to Salvation, which was what was written on the pamphlet there. I have The Identity of Alan Talbot. I have Building a Better Man. And my favorite, I, Talbot.
Yeah, I like that one.
Like iRobot.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one actually it's one of those episodes that has a good title. It's a very good title for this episode.
Yeah.
Switcheroos, I got nothing. I worked really hard on that top 10 videos that you guys should go and listen to right now if you haven't.
I got quite a few. I got Person or Persons Unknown, A Thing About Machines, Static, He's
Steel.
Alive, Steel, The Self-Improvement of Walter Ryder.
Ah, pretty good.
All right, so no direct references this week to this episode, which is unfortunate because it is a really good one, but there are a lot of sort of spiritual successors in a way. So starting us off, season 5 episode of American Dad called May the Best Stand Win. in which a cyborg Stan from the future tries to woo Francine because the current day Stan has been missing up her like anniversaries and stuff like that. So he tries to move in on him. So very similar where it's two different versions of yourself trying to win over the affection of another woman. And then one of them is like cyborgish, robotic, similar-ish kind of ideas there. They also have a 2006 movie, The Prestige. A magician uses a cloning machine to create a duplicate of himself to perform his tricks, kind of blurring the line between self and a copy. And then we have the 2019 Will Smith movie, Gemini Man, where Will Smith fights like a younger, better, quote-unquote, cloned version of himself. And there's a 2013 episode of Black Mirror called Be Right Back, where a grieving woman uses AI and robotics to create an artificial version of her deceased partner for a quote-unquote better, more preserved self. And then there's also Robert Louis Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which was even referenced within this episode, where Jekyll literally tries to create a better version of himself, though it kind of backfires. So very similar to this.
All right, so every week Tyler picks the episodes, and he does so by showing me an AI-generated picture, and I play a little game where I have to guess what it is. The only thing I can guess is it's not going to be season 4.
Yeah, yep, obviously. And so this was supposed to be a death.
Are we creeping up closer? Remember, like last year, like before Halloween, like the 3 before?
Yeah, I
do know we have 5 episodes in October this year.
So 85 will be our Halloween one, and this is 81. So yeah, because this is technically in October, isn't it? Yeah. The next one is, I kind of picked it because it was spooky-ish, but like it will get spookier.
But are we? It is gonna get spookier.
I guess I'd call this.
I mean, even this one's kind of Halloween-y.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Twilight Zone. It's hard to not have it Halloween-y. But the next one will be an Other because we're doing Death Other, and this was, for some reason, we called this one a Death one. I don't know why.
Yeah. A robot dies.
All right. Any other guesses other than not season 4?
No.
All right, ready?
Yep. The Silence.
Yes, The Silence.
Pretty decent episode.
Kind of
very
scary
memorable.
in a body horror sort of way.
Maybe.
I mean, he has to cut his own vocal cords and
Hey,
live
spoiler
with it.
alert.
That's kind of scary.
It's a pretty decent episode.
Yeah.
What season is that? 2 or 3, I'm guessing?
Either 2 or 3, I don't remember.
Nice. All right, next week, The Silence.
You are about to receive a message from the 5th dimension.
All right, so just one comment this week, and it comes to us from Logan Arnold Kicks. And Logan Arnold says, great episode as always on the Mirror episode of ours. Assuming that you're talking about our episode and not the episode The Mirror, because that episode's kind of a stinker in terms of the Twilight Zone. But if you do love it, then yeah, that's good.
And if the compliment is for us, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
All right, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you guys could please continue to like and subscribe on the YouTube page, it would mean the world to us. If you could go over and check out our new video that we just dropped today while we're recording this. It should have been out for a couple days when you hear this, but it's our top 10 scariest episodes of the Twilight Zone, right in time for spooky season.
Yeah, so let us know if you agree with our top 10. What would you put in your top 10? And yeah.
Also, if you guys need to get a hold of us for any other reason, you can email us at twilightgnome59@gmail.com. And if you could go over to the Facebook page and follow that and give that some likes. I post some pictures that I don't get to post on YouTube because of their dimension restrictions here. And Tyler's poll that he's dropping.
Yes, I got poll out this weekend is all about fall. Let us know what your favorite part of fall is with some cool and funny nods to the Twilight Zone there. And if you're listening and you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe button.
Subscribe button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And yeah, thank you guys.
All right, Ty, my final question for you. Do you think you could win in a fight against your own self? Like if you cloned yourself to...
A clone version of me or a robot version of me? Because that definitely makes a big difference.
I don't know. Walter beat the shit out of a robot version of himself. You can't feel pain, huh, you bastard?
If it's a robot version, I'm obviously losing. If it's a clone version of me...
Not obvious.
It's a robot.
So?
Unless I, I don't know, have some magnets lying around or...
So trip it.
I guess
throw water on it?
Yeah, throw water on it, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to say I lose to a robot version, and it would be a tie between me and an actual clone. Like if it's a perfect clone of me,
it would be a tie-tie.
It would be a tie-tie.
Hey.
Yeah, I think I'm assuming it would be a tie for anyone that fights a clone version of themselves.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like
they know exactly what you're gonna do.
Is my clone like as tired as I am, like after like work? Or this thing just fucking doesn't have to work? So
no, it's a fresh clone of you that was just created, so it has all of your previous memories. I'm assuming. I'm kind of taking over this little, for instance here.
Right.
But yeah, it would be like you right now. Boom. There's like you just like.
I'd like to think I could, because I am the first man.
But it would be literally the same as you. In every way.
I'd probably do like the Homer Simpson thing. Like, if he's anything like me, he won't like getting kicked in the nuts.
I would think of it more like the scene from Avengers Endgame where or not Endgame, Avengers
Infinity Wars?
Whichever one they go back in time. Endgame,
yeah.
Yeah, where Captain America's fighting his past version of himself.
That is America's ass.
They're like very similar fighting techniques because they're the same person.
I guess one would want to, but I think the Captain America who went back, he
would have more
he won because he wanted it more because he knew what was at stake.
Yeah, true.
Like the Infinity Stones. And I'd imagine my clone doesn't have a family or anything like that. So.
Their clone would have your family. He would just take over your life because he has all your past memories too. So he thinks it's just as much his family as you think it's yours. Yeah.
The dilemma. All right. Well, until then, Ty, do you have anything to say to our dear, dear Gnomies?
Yes. Thank you all for stepping into the Twilight Gnome with us.
It's 4 o'clock, the howling man is gone.